So it's easier for the UK as a separate entity to try and strike some of these deals rather than being one of 28 countries in a region actually that's struggling?
Well, it'll be easier in terms of it won't have to bring along 27 other member states
Yes.
and find agreement across all those areas. And we've seen lots of different conflicts within the EU as they try to sort of reach a communal position. So it may be easier in that sense, but there's also an enormous task. And we've heard that CETA alone has taken 7 years. The EU, the Commission itself, has been the, sort of the key negotiator for a generation of these agreements. So it's about the UK needs to build up its expertise and its knowledge base, and then it may be easier, but it needs to get there first.
Is it any kind of model for Brexit, this CETA deal? Because if I look at this kind of scenario, and I know it's complicated, but I feel like the services sector would still be in a worse off position under this kind of trade deal. So, you know, can we look at that in any kind of way and make a judgment call here?
I mean, I would say personally no. I mean, I think the UK's position at the moment as an EU member state, it gets the best possible agreement that it can possibly have. Now, okay, fine, that's my personal opinion. We had the Brexit vote on the 23rd of June, things are as they are. If the UK leaves the EU in 2019, as could happen if Article 50 is triggered in the first 3 months of next year, then you're going to want to look to get the best deal possible. Now, you're going to try getting the best deal that you possibly can for, you know, for services, for all your industries, and that will have to be deep. For the UK, it would have to be deeper than what the EU is currently negotiating with CETA. It would have to be, therefore harder.
It's not going to happen in a 2-year period. Even if we enact Article 50 in January, we're not going to have those trade deals in place, surely, are we, by the time we're then extracted from the deals that we have currently within the EU?
No, I think
this is the thing that confuses me. There's going to be a gap between the end of the 2-year period when Article 50 is enacted and when we suddenly then have these deals, these trade deals struck.
Almost certainly. The 2-year period is for the withdrawal agreement, and that could be around budgets, pensions, lots of technical issues. But the big politics and the big prize is, what does that new relationship look like? And I very much agree. I think it's very unlikely, very unlikely it will be done in that 2-year period. And you're going to have a gap. The key question then, and the key thing that the business is interested in at the moment, is what certainty can I have between the end of that relationship with the EU and what the new relationship looks like? What does that transition period look like?
What this Canada deal tells us is that timing and the way deals unfold is quite interesting, because Canada has been looked at as a litmus test for the US. So if Britain is about to embark upon its first trade deal in a post-Brexit world, who does it talk to first? Who's the most relevant party? Is it an emerging market country somewhere like India, or is it a Canadian country that may not have got a deal through with Europe that is desperate to do a deal? I mean, what's the first stop for Theresa May if she's looking for a deal?
The first stop is Brussels, because that's going to be the most important relationship they have in the future.
It's the hardest one to execute, right? So would you go for that deal first?
I think the trading relationship the UK will have with Brussels and with the EU is going to be fundamental, because if they agree to have a customs union, that would affect what the relationship is like with other countries they may have a deal with. So getting that relationship right is going to be the building block. That and the WTO relationship are the building block for all future trade deals. So Brussels is the first stop. Thereafter, probably anyone they can find.
Thomas, do you agree?
I would agree with that. I think the UK has to go to Brussels first, and once the final deal, the final package is negotiated, whether it's the UK end up being part of the customs union, which I don't think would happen, or whether it's some kind of EEA-light style, we would have to see. But the UK, given its the importance for the UK of the EU market, that is the deal which you have to get done first.